One Joseph Buck here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Joe?
I'm good. I'm just going over some of the different character names on WKRP in Cincinnati. There was Herb Tarlick. There was Bailey, who was gorgeous back in the day.
Yep.
Lonnie Anderson, I don't remember her name on the show. There was Venus Flytrap. There was
Les Nessman, one of the
Les Nessman, the nerdy newsreader.
Of course, Dr. Johnny Fever. Dr. Johnny Fever was the guy.
Dr. Johnny Fever.
And then
who got in trouble.
And
he got in trouble one episode when he fell into the payola trap.
Oh, that's right. That was, if I'm not mistaken, a very special WKRP that night, Joe.
We all learned something. I brought that forward with me into my career, where if I'm given like a free pair of like a nice watch tonight to wear on the air, I can't accept it, or if I do, I can't talk about it. And like some sort of free promotion.
You raised the bar. We already know that, Joe. You raised the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Can you set the stage for me tonight? What do you got for me on tonight's football game?
You got your typical AFC North battle here in Cincinnati, the Ravens and the Bengals. I think it'll be a good game, actually, and I think we're very proud of our schedule on Thursday nights. But even the first two games that are on the NFL Network, I think there's going to be intrigue tonight. I think there will be next week with Sam Darnold and the Jets going to Cleveland to play the Browns after Hard Knocks and people falling in love with the cast members / roster of the Cleveland Browns. I think the first 2 weeks, then on into the Fox schedule, will be really good.
Yeah, you got that. And then Minnesota and the Rams out here in Los Angeles for the first one that's on Fox for week 4. I mean, Indianapolis at New England, week 5. The Philly Giants game, the first of 2 meetings between them. But tonight's game, I mean, with the way that we saw the tie between Cleveland and Pittsburgh play out, going up 2-0 in division is pretty huge. How much do you think of Lamar Jackson we might see tonight, do you think, Joe?
Well, I can only tell you that when we talk to John Harbaugh, he is a little protective of that specific piece of information and still considers him a quarterback and a quarterback only, despite the fact that he lines up on the outside and goes in motion and takes tosses and does all that stuff.
Right.
So the quarterback who lines up on the outside, I don't know. I think we'll see. He was, in essence, in when the game was still in the balance against Buffalo 5 times early, and maybe they might build on that. I don't think it's going to be a lot more than that. I think they want to get Flacco going. He's coming off a couple of bad years. Last year was down. He had the bad back. He looked great in week 1, and so all that's well and good with Lamar, but I think you have to make sure that Flacco is on a roll, or if he's not on a roll, can get on a roll. That's your best chance to win. So they don't want to be gimmicky. They don't want to make it kind of a sideshow. So if that's the case, I think 5, 6 times at the most.
And then for the Cincinnati offense, just in week 1, seeing what it looked like in Indianapolis, it looked to me more often than not that the Dalton to Green connection that everybody thought is the main engine of this offense, it's now Joe Mixon. Joe, what were you able to pick up over the last 24 hours on that subject?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that a couple of guys, not just A.J. Green, his teammate, but a guy that he'll be facing, and C.J. Mosley kind of went the Todd Gurley comparison route. Not saying that he is Todd Gurley, but for a guy that had basically 150 scrimmage yards against the Colts, he can run it, he can catch it, he's fast, he's not a little guy, he's 6'1", 220. The question is going to be in this game is, can this offensive line for Cincinnati hold up against the pressure of, speaking of 80s and 70s sitcoms, Wink Martindale's defense? They're going to blitz even more than they have in the past, and they proved that in the preseason. They proved that week 1. They had 6 sacks, and this offensive line on the right side with Redmond and Bobby Hart, the former Giant, they are going to have their hands full, and I would imagine the tight end will be over there helping out more times than not, trying to just slow down that pass rush.
Joe Buck here on the Rich Eisen Show, calling again tonight on the NFL Network, the first Thursday night game with the Fox crew for the next 6 years, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. For the moment, you were fresh off of that game in Carolina, and one thing that leapt off a page at me, what I read, and I'm wondering what your take is, or if you, I know you don't speak for Troy, but Stephen Jones, when presented with something that was said on the broadcast in Carolina from Troy, saying that the offense wasn't very creative, or he didn't see much creativity out of the offense. Stephen Jones saying anybody can play armchair quarterback. What did you think about that, Joseph?
Yeah. Well, first of all, they're very good friends, and they've talked since that came out. And I think that's kind of the blessing and the curse of being Troy. You know, when Troy makes a statement like that, everybody straightens up in their chair on the couch and goes, oh, whoa, well, wow. He just said that the Dallas Cowboys are not creative. I think it proves that he's willing to be critical of the team that he took to 3 Super Bowl wins, which I think is great for him. And I think he's right. I mean, I don't know anybody, including Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones, other people involved in that organization. They can't come out of that game against Carolina happy with what they did offensively. And I think it starts with the offensive line there too. So when you don't have Travis Frederick and you have a rookie at left guard and you're taking on Carolina, I would imagine it does look hard, or it is hard to look creative or imaginative if you can't block enough to let something develop or to get Ezekiel Elliott going. They're fine. That whole Stephen Jones-Troy thing was nothing. But I don't know anybody who would watch that game who would come away impressed with the Dallas offense. They're just going to figure something out and see if their offensive line can get better going into a big game against the Giants on Sunday night.
Yeah, it is huge. I mean, it's just absolutely huge. Certainly if the Giants with their playmakers show up in the Jones Mahal and shine out, I mean, putting extra pressure on a team that might fall to 0-2 with the star on the side of their helmet, Joe. I mean, this is something. Who do you think? Ask the poll question of Joe Buck, Chris Brockman, here on the Rich Eisen
Joe,
Show,
looking at 3 quarterbacks from 2016, Goff, Wentz, Dak Prescott, who do you think will end up having the better career?
When it's all said and done.
When it's all said and done, I mean, I think you have to take into consideration the torn ACL for Wentz. I think Wentz was the easy answer and was in the MVP conversation when he went down last year in December in L.A. But I thought Goff looked really good against Oakland, and I hadn't seen that. I'd seen him practice a couple of years ago and looked shaky. And then when he got the chance to really step in last year with McVay, they led the league in offense and are in scoring. And, you know, if you're capable of doing that as the quarterback, something good's going on there. And I thought he looked even better against Oakland on Monday night. So I think right now it's a toss-up between Wentz and Goff, and we'll just have to see how Wentz comes back. But I think the easy answer is Wentz, but I'm not giving up on Goff.
Yeah, and so let's just get into the your schedule here. So when the World Series hits, are you still going to do Thursday Night Football? I mean, what does your schedule look like, Joe, when all that happens?
Yeah, I think so. We're still kind of putting that together, and I think, you know, who knows who's going to be in the World Series, who knows who's going to be in the LCS, for that matter.
It's exciting.
So it just depends on kind of where I am and if everything goes well weather-wise and there are no, you know, pushbacks or postponements, then I think I would do all of them during. There's only 2 potential conflicts. One is a Game 5 of the NLCS, and the other is a travel day in the World Series. So I think I'll probably stay in baseball during the NLCS, but I think all that's up in the air until we figure out where and, you know, when these games are.
It's exciting, Joe. I mean, the Red Sox won their 100th last night. The Yankees are only now 1 game in front of the Athletics for the home spot in that American League wild card game. The Rockies keep winning games in the NL. I mean, do you have any sense of who you think might you be calling in the World Series when it's said and done?
Well, we have the NL this year, so to me that is totally wide. I can't remember a time where you go into the postseason and you say, I have no idea not only who's going to get in, but who would make it through. I mean, the Cubs lead is minuscule now as well, and they've got a hot Milwaukee team and a resurgent Cardinal team right behind them. So it's throughout the National League. Boston is the best team. Obviously, their record tells you that, but there's no way they feel comfortable with where they are with Chris Sale and the postseason history of David Price. So if that's the case, then you look at a Houston team that is good 1 through 5 in their rotation. Yeah, they have holes in their bullpen. But if you have 1 through 5 in your rotation that's really good, one of those guys or two of those guys could slide into your pen and make that even better. So the best teams are in the American League, and the National League is a complete roll of the dice crapshoot.
All right, and so most importantly, what are the reads tonight during the game? You can do NFL Game Day morning reads during the game tonight? You're gonna?
I saw one on the list.
Okay. What are you?
Saw Football Life on Carson Palmer.
Okay, there's that one. Any Fox? Are we gonna get? Are we gonna get a good? I guess lethal, a last man standing. What do we got, Joe? We got a 911.
I'm just going to go rogue and just keep saying Bob's Burgers over again.
Look. Hey, that's what happens when you get a long-term contract. Just do what you want, Joe.
Checking out at 14. Don't forget to check out Bob's Burgers.
Hey, did you see Mark Wahlberg's schedule? I don't know if you're on Instagram or anything like that. Did you see what this is? Did you see this?
His schedule?
Yeah,
No,
yeah. Just tell me if this sounds like yours, okay? Because I know you're a traveling man. You're a man who's trying to stay healthy, fit. You got 2 beautiful new babies, you and Michelle. So here's what
I have a vested interest as a 49-year-old father of 4-month-old twins to maybe take bacon out of my diet.
Yeah, exactly. So here's Mark Wahlberg, Joe. You tell me what you think here. Starting at 2:30 in the morning, wake up. How close is that to you? 2:30 in the morning, wake up.
Normally, it's like 2:30 in the morning, finally getting to sleep.
Okay, all right. 2:45 a.m. prayer time, followed by a 3:15 a.m. breakfast, a 3:40 a.m. to 5:15 a.m. workout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Post-workout meal, then a shower. Golf at 7:30 before his 9:30 a.m. cryo chamber recovery time.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's insane. And only 15 minutes to pray.
Then you don't. So your reaction is you don't cryo chamber recover? Is that what you're saying?
I've done that before, and it tests every part of my manhood.
I've never done this. What do you get out of it?
It's like doing the hot cold, getting a cold plunge, getting a hot tub, getting a cold plunge, getting a hot tub. It does something for recovery.
Yeah.
By freezing your blood and capillaries and other parts of your body that should never be frozen.
Yeah, I mean that's by 9:30. I could go on and on. He gets to bed by 7:30. And has dinner at 5:30.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like the kind of guy I want to hang with.
Okay. Well, hey Joe.
And he could not be a nicer guy, by the way. But
I know
if that's every day, no thanks.
I know that is
awful.
That is every day, and then 2 hours for golf. That's very impressive.
Is that like in preparation for a role, or is that just life?
This said at the very top of his Instagram story snapshot, typical daily schedule is how he put it.
Yeah. I call BS on that.
Okay. Hard Pass. By the way, that sounds like a new Fox series starting this fall. Hard Pass.
I call Hard Pass, or I call BS on that, hosted by Chris Myers.
That's me here, and you in the cryo chamber there.
I call BS on that.
I call BS on that.
That sounds like, hey, let's pitch it, man. That sounds great. Just do me a favor. Just really lay into my name tonight when you give the read for NFL Game Day morning.
What do you? First of all, you're not even here.
I know. Yeah, okay. I'm not.
That came as a disappointment. I found that out about an hour and a half ago.
Sorry,
I almost left.
Should have warned you. Should have given the heads up. My apology. But no, yeah, I'm not there. But just I'll still want a shout out. Just any shout out. Just give me a shout out.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
little tug on the ear, a little Carol Burnett, and we'll play it tomorrow. I have no idea what you'll do. I'll just leave it up to you. I would never tell you what to say. But
At the end, when I sing, at the end of our on camera, when I sing, I'm so glad we had this time together. And I just to sing a song, I'll tug on my ear and I'll give you a little wink.
I can't wait. That'll be great, Joe. Take care.
Okay.
Say hi to Michelle. You take care.
Oh, I will. You say hi to Susie and
will
all
do
of
that.
your friends there,
You go.
including Del Tufo in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
That's Joe Buck, everybody. That's
Del
it.
Tufo shout out.
Yeah.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.